In just 4 years, the streets of South Asia have witnessed an extraordinary wave of people power that has brought down leaders who seemed untouchable. From the scorching summer of 2022 in Colombo to the tumultuous monsoon of 2024 in Dhaka and finally to the September uprising of 2025 in Kathmandu. 3 protest movements have rewritten the political discourse of the subcontinent. Each eruption began with different triggers, but beneath the surface lays the same festering wounds: rampant corruption, deepening inequality, and a political elite completely disconnected from the struggles of the ordinary citizens. The most recent eruption came in Nepal, where the youngest generation took to the streets with unprecedented fury. The immediate trigger was Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's decision to ban 26 social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For Nepal's digital natives, a generation that comprises of over 20% of country's population and has grown up with smartphones as extension of themselves, this felt like an assault on their very identity. But the social media ban was merely the match that lit a powder keg of accumulated grievances. Nepal's youth were furious about the lavish lifestyles of politicians' children, who flaunted their wealth on social media, while ordinary citizens struggled with unemployment rate of over 20% and mass migration of workers abroad. Within 48 hours, multiple people were dead, government buildings were ablaze, and Oli had resigned. The speed of Nepal's upheaval was extraordinary. What took weeks in Bangladesh and months in Sri Lanka happened in merely hours in the Himalayan nation. Well, last year it was Bangladesh. What began in July 2024 as student protest against a discriminatory quota system in government jobs rapidly evolved into a broader movement against Sheikh Hasina's increasingly authoritarian 15 years rule. The students' chants and slogans became the anthem of change. The violence was devastating. Over 280 people died as security forces opened fire on protesters, but the demonstrations only grew louder. On August 5, 2024, as hundreds of thousands marched towards Dhaka demanding Hasina's resignation, the Prime Minister, who had once seemed invincible, was forced to flee by helicopter to India. As Hasina fled, the images of jubilant crowds breaking into her residence, singing and celebrating as they looted the premises, marked the end of what many called Bangladesh's second independence struggle. Then comes Sri Lanka's 2022 uprising that was perhaps the most visceral of the three. The island nation's foreign reserves had plummeted to records low, leaving citizens queuing up for hours for fuels and enduring daily 13-hour power cuts. What began as sporadic protest over fuel shortage exploded into a mass movement when ordinary Sri Lankans realized their suffering was the direct result of the Rajapaksa family's economic mismanagement and corruption. The images from July 9, 2022 remain seared in our memories. Protesters swimming in President Gotabaya's pool after storming his official residence, crowds celebrating with fireworks as news of resignation spread, and the colonial-era President House transformed into a symbol of people's victory over dynastic rule. The Rajapaksa brothers, who had dominated Sri Lankan politics for over 2 decades, were forced into exile, their political empire crumbling under the weight of public fury over their inability to deliver basic necessity to a nation of 22 million people. Despite their different catalysts, these 3 movements share striking similarities that reveal deeper structural problems plaguing South Asian democracies with weak institutions. All 3 nations suffer from what activists call the elite capture, a political system where a small group of connected families and their cronies monopolize power and resources while ordinary citizens are left behind. These movements also demonstrate how social media has transformed political organizing in South Asia. In all 3 cases, digital platforms were crucial for mobilization, coordination, and spreading the message of resistance. Yet, for all their success in toppling leaders, these movements have struggled with what comes next. The deeper challenge is that while these movements excel at destroying corrupt systems, they are less successful at building lasting alternatives. The danger is that old elites simply regroup in some form or another to fill the political vacuum. For now, the message from the streets is clear. The old ways of doing politics are no longer acceptable.